The way we treat living things should be universal. Give them all respect and care. Give those two things, and you'll be surprised what you might get in return. Gratitude, nourishment, the feeling of safety, shelter. Kirsten Regniks, owner of KRR Design, is passionate that we cater to the natural world in the same way that we would cater to a loved one. Regniks, a 5-year-old veteran of the landscape design industry and 15-year-old student of botanical studies, launched her business in April 2020, just 2 months after deciding her course. The decision just felt like the right time. I had gained a lot of confidence in my skill set and also knew my value to the art form and what I could give back to nature through my business. Prior to starting KRR Design, Regniks worked for a boutique landscape and garden design studio in Austin, Texas. She came to the field after being a traditional living and outdoor survival instructor, living in a wigwam in Utah for the better part of a decade. I had to work with the land for everything: food, medicine, shelter. It was the ultimate experiential education in what our relationship with the earth looks and feels like when we're working with it and for it, versus against it. Her time living from the land taught her not only how to harvest wild food and navigate vast terrains by the sun and stars, but also how nature designs things naturally. She had to adjust her own life and needs to fit into the cycle of life and the continual changing of its seasons and available resources. This experience has allowed her to take into account every detail, from soil pH levels to the birds, bees, and other organisms that thrive off the soil, vegetation, flowers, and seeds, and use that knowledge to create couture wild gardens for multiple Austin residents. I got really lucky when I started with the one long-term project for a high-end client. She knew what she wanted and had the respect and understanding of the cycle of life to allow me to create a long-lasting environment surrounding her home that was both graceful and sophisticated in design, as well as responsible within the grander scope of nature's demands. As the pandemic trekked on, so did Regniks' business. Through word of mouth, clients began to pool around her like rainwater harvested from the sky. Post-lockdown, the architecture, engineering, and construction, or AEC industry, was slammed. As a whole, we couldn't find enough resources or labor to take on the work that was being dropped into our laps.
Just stay